Where are we?
The Palais Royal Garden.
A palace servant approaches Simon. Carrying a vanilla scrupulous scroll bound by a scarlet tie, he is dressed from tip to toe in the finest of silks.
Where is Pete?
Simon leads the servant over to Pete. In contrast, Pete is dressed in the ricketyest rags with patchwork. The servant unfolds the scroll.
Pete, the peasant. You are needed to report for corvée duty.
Great. As if I do not have enough to do.
What's corvée duty?
Corvée duty. I am obligated to provide free labor for the king. His Majesty's old highway just will not do. He wants a new one.
We'll just tell him no, and you've got too much going on.
That is not the way it works.
You are blocking the street.
I know. The king's rules do not apply to me.
July 12th, 1789, 2:30 p.m. And all is not well. Plebeians, in addition to farming the fields, I have just been summoned for corvée duty. Here's the beginning of a civil throng. One of us must do his duty, and mount a table to harangue the people. Get up here. I am willing.
Immediately, the peasants carry Pete onto the table, rather than allow him to mount it.
Citizens, there's not a moment to lose. Desmoulins comes from Versailles. Monsieur Nectar's dismissed. This dismissal is the tocsin of a Saint Bartholomew for patriots. This evening, all the Swiss and German battle lines will sally forth from the Camp du Mars to cut our throats.
The peasants applaud like spicy applesauce.
What colors will you have?
Choose. Will you have green, the color of hope, or the blue of Cincinnatus, color of American liberty and democracy?
Pete's 10-year-old deaf-mute sweet pea, Frances, walks to a mighty old oak. She takes some lovely green leaves. She sees Frankie.
Friends, the signal is given. There are spies and satellites of the police watching me. At least I will not fall into their hands alive. Let all citizens imitate me.
Pete draws 2 pistols from his pocket. Then he leaps off the table. The peasants emphatically embrace him.
I wish never to abandon you.
Francis brings Pete the leaves. He puts one first in his hat, then distributes some more among those who surround him.
Those bat turds! Why can't the crooked king see that we're starving?
Trembling, Marie clasps Francis's shoulder for support.
Can't they see that France is starving?
Those aristocrats use us, abuse us, and abandon us. They think that being born into a certain class that they are better than everybody else and that their powder crap does not stink.
And yet their perfumed crap stinks the most. La crap de la crap.
The crap's creamed.
Cream of the crap.
Then, through heavy taxation, they rob us blind. Our words are useless anyway. They would only fall on deaf ears. Just yesterday, Marie asked a tall blonde woman carrying a small dog for help. She had ice blue eyes.
Ice blue, all right. Ice blue to match her cold, dead heart. She's the queen's favorite.
You know what Lucia did?
Yeah? What did she do?
She ignored Marie's plea. You know how Marie is a strong-willed woman. Abandoning us? The woman turned and walked away with her nose so stuck up in the air. It was as if we did not exist. We are only good for handing over our taxes for their feats, you know. I have seen mules that have been better treated.
I did hear Antoinette the Deficit has a donkey that wears a diamond harness.
Silence, Simon. She does not.
Does so.
Does not.
Does so.
Does not.
Does.
Does not.
Boys, boys, boys. Silent, Simon. Gabriel.
So,
Come here so that I can kick your ass.
Gabriel childishly chases Simon around the gardens.
leave the deficit's donkey out of this.
Hey, Pete, and repeat. Knock it off.
He started it.
I do not care who started it. You're going to finish it.
What next? Pray tell, an Austrian governor in America?
King Louis refused to listen to our demands during the States General.
Now that meeting was such a disappointment. And even locking us out. What was that about?
If it had not been for that nearby tennis court.
Pity he didn't even lower the bread prices.
Those remiss aristocrats live off of us.
We bleed for them. We sweat.
The harder we toil, the more they play with our taxi. Why we have to pay taxes and they don't?
Working our fingers to the bones, we're digging ourselves into an early grave.
The time for words is over. The time for action is now. Jackie Nectar's dismissal and the ever-increasing bread prices are the final straws. Let us move, as a wave, to right the Hotel de Castries. Grain and flour sacks are stored there. As I said, to arms. I, for one, am tired of being hungry and watching my family starve.
Me too.
Me3.
A stumbling Girondan veteran spoon-feeds a lush bush. Frankie, curious, walks to him.
To arms!
Hearing "to arms," the veteran proudly raises his spoon to the silky sky. He waves it in the air like a weary weapon. He then proceeds to beat the bush with it. Meanwhile, flapping his right elbow, he runs around the bush once. Then he crazily rides an imaginary small elephant.
Hee-haw! Hee-haw! Hey, Pete. Boys here.
Wait a minute. You can see me?
Of course, stop doing that. I'm not blind, and you are giving me a headache.
Oh, okay, so, yeah, why is that guy called Silent Simon?
Because he's anything but silent. Gabriel gave him the name.
What's with him?
Is he beating around the bush and riding an imaginary small elephant again?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind him. That is Stanislaw. Stanislaw. He has never been quite right in the mind since he came back from the 1775 war. He used to tell the greatest stories. He's a ghost shell of a man that he once was. Now he is voiceless.
That's a shame. A dying shame.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Two refined, aristocratic women, dressed to the nine, approach the impoverished peasants. One woman holds her ear as she has an earache. She does not watch where she is walking. She runs into Gabriel.
Hello, Hestia. Well, hello, ladies. Hey, good-looking. For me, what you got cooking? Muffin? Anything from the oven? Ooh, wow, meow. Here, kitty, kitty.
Smelling poverty, the women ignore the peasants.
The Mariage of Figaro is perhaps the cleverest thing that has ever been written, excepting perhaps the works of Monsieur Voltaire. It is dazzling, a true piece of fireworks. The rules of art are overturned from one end to the other, and this is why in 4 hours of performance there is not one moment of boredom.
And what about the scene where Figaro says to the Count Amaviva, "Because you are a grand signor, you think yourself a great genius. Nobility, wealth, rank, offices. All this makes you so high and mighty. What have you done to have so much? You've hardly given yourself the trouble to be born, and that's about it. For the rest, you're an ordinary person, while I, damn it, lost in the anonymous crowd, have had to use all my science and craft just to survive." I mean, really, who does Figaro think he is? Could you just imagine Baron de Overkick?
I could. While you lovely ladies sat comfy cozy in the theatre, we watched our own show. Armies of emaciated beggars dying on the roads. Paris streets slopping with ordure and butcher's offal. Relentless feudistes screwing the last penny out of peasants barely subsisting on chestnut gruel. Prisoners rotting in the hulks for stealing a loaf of sugar or smuggling a box of salt. Horse and hound laying waste to standing crops in the name of the Lord's hunt. Filthy bundles of rags deposited every morning on the steps of Paris churches, containing newborn babies with pathetic notes claiming baptism. 4 to a bed in the Hôtel Dieu, expiring in companionable dysentery. I mean, really, could you just imagine, Gabriel?
Yep, I could.
Although it sure is nice seeing our taxes at work. Have a terrific time at the theater, ladies?
It sure must be nice to be able to sit around all day and do absolutely nothing. Gee, I wonder what that's like.
You will know.
A toil-hardened Gabriel, ireful, lunges at the lazy ladies.
Whoa, spare yourself, Ro. There's a time and a place. Good day, ladies.
Oh, peasants. Don't you have somewhere to toil? Let's go, Gertrude.
There is a lot of water in his brain. The little one is kind of cute.
Come on, let's go, Gertrude.
What? I said kind of.
Ugh, Aristobrats. Gertrude is more like it.
That's right, ladies. Get that nose up a little higher now. Careful, it might just rain. Women. Sheesh. Proud as peacocks, those ones. A little heavier on the perfume next time.
The remiss women leave the gardens without a care, and as though they have all the time in the world.
You said it, brother. I think they forgot to use the whole bottle. Talking about laying to waste.
No kidding, she stinks. What'd she do, bathe in it? She smelled like my grandma. She swims in Moonlight Path.
How does she swim in moonlight?
Oh, no. Moonlight Path is this perfume my dad buys for her birthday every year.
I see. And your mother?
She's really frugal. Always pinching her pennies.
Look at me. I'm pretty.
Frances notices Frankie. Curious as a kitty, she walks to him. Pete smiles slyly. Frances looks to him for help. Frances nods.
What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?
Holding her throat, Frances shakes her head no. She gives Frankie a bizarre look.
I wish the cat had a nets. She thinks she knows everything. Well, she doesn't.
The confused Frances rubs her eyes. She walks to Pete. She shows fast hand movements. Frankie watches Pete and Frances.
Frances, honey, slow down.
Frances slows down. She looks at Frankie. Pointing at him, she motions, "Who's the boy?" She hungrily holds her tummy.
Shh. That boy is our secret.
Frances rubs her tummy, showing that she is hungry.
I know that you are hungry.
Frances pats her tummy, showing that her stomach is empty.
Yes, I do realize that your tummy is empty. There is nothing I can do. I am sorry, Frances. I am so sorry.
Frances gestures. Where are you going? Where?
I am going to the Hotel de Castries to find food for your tummy.
Frances gestures again. Can I come?
No. This time I am afraid that you cannot come.